All right, welcome into another episode of the Goodman and Hummel podcast. I'm Jeff Goodman. He is the best dressed Robbie Hummel we've ever seen. I mean, what is up with this? How do we deserve this?
Hey, did you leave at halftime of that game?
I did, to get back, to get organized.
Yeah, because the hotel is a good 55 minutes away from the United Center you're staying at, so that makes sense.
I'm not a Chicago guy like you. I missed
some
the
of
end
us,
of that game.
Again, this is the theme. Some of us work. You don't. You don't work.
That game meant nothing.
No, I'm not saying it did.
Nothing.
I'm not saying it did.
To Purdue players, fine, it meant something. It's a Big Ten tournament title. But in the grand scheme of things, Purdue is still going to be the fourth.
I bet Penn State wishes they won. You hang a banner. We're the first team
I'm
that's
not
ever
saying
won.
it didn't mean something to the kids. I'm saying it didn't mean anything.
Totally did.
In the grand scheme of seeding and whatnot, it was already done.
Agreed.
I don't think it mattered. But again, all right, let's get to it. Brackets were just released, and let's start with just kind of the number one seeds a little bit. We don't need to spend a lot of time on this, but I do think it's worth noting Alabama gets the overall number one, which I have no problem with. I mean, listen, it's kind of splitting hairs at this point, right? My issue is that Kansas was behind Houston. Thus, Houston is in the Midwest, and they go to Kansas City. And even more importantly, Kansas gets shipped out west. And because of that, not only do they get shipped out west, Rob, they're in a top half of the bracket with the winner of Arkansas, Illinois, which is dangerous as all hell. Talent.
Alert.
Right. I mean, you don't want that number one. And then if you get to the Sweet 16, you might get a red-hot UConn team. Honestly, did anybody, and some people will say, hey, Kansas, they deserve it. The NCAA stuff, they got off easy. Too bad, blah, 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 blah. But, man, I think this does not bode well for a repeat.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, I know they didn't play well in the Big 12 tournament final, but Illinois is the most up and down team ever. They could give Kansas all they want. They could also lose by 20. And Arkansas, I think that the talent scares you that they have, and some of the athletes that they have. Houston passing Kansas with the way they lost today, with Marcus Sasser status up in the air. I don't know about that. Kansas, I think that they should be rewarded in a way, even though Houston's 31-3, and you look at Kansas. What are they, 27? And they do have 7 losses, I guess.
They do, but again.
But the Big 12 is a beast.
And you lost without Bill Self. You lost without a Hall of Famer who we all say is the best coach in the country.
I agree with that. But I think it's funny that you're asking for the committee to take into account an illness to a coach.
Yes, I am.
But it didn't happen elsewhere, except for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, who got screwed.
They did. All right, So Kansas kind of gets screwed to me behind Houston. That's number one. Then we'll go through quickly the snubs, the teams that didn't get in. Rutgers. First one that didn't get in actually was Oklahoma State. They were the next team in. And I feel bad because, Rob, they got screwed a year ago by the IARP committee. They hit them, right? The IARP, they were the ones, right? They couldn't. Yeah, they hit them with a postseason ban, and they couldn't appeal, whatnot. They were the only ones who didn't self-impose in that whole deal and got a postseason ban, and now they're the first team out. This to me isn't right. It's not right. And I know you'll say, you're going to push back and say one thing should have nothing to do with the other, but if it's that close and we're splitting hairs right now, we are. Nevada got in over Oklahoma State. To me, committee, you should have taken Oklahoma State over Nevada.
Well, Nevada lost 3 games in a row to end the season. That's hard to believe. Oklahoma State did, what did they finished?
They struggled at the end.
They lost 5 in a row.
Yeah.
They have lost what?
Without Avery Anderson.
6 of 8. They've lost 6 of 8 without Avery Anderson.
I get it.
I don't know. I haven't seen them nearly as much as I've seen Rutgers, but everyone has been saying that Rutgers is not getting in due to the fact that they have one good win post Mawat Mag's injury, which was the Penn State comeback. But I thought that they passed the eye test at the Big Ten tournament that you hear about. They beat Michigan. and played well. And then they played well against Purdue, who's a 1 seed. Also, looking at their total body of work, they won on the court of a 1 seed. I know Mawat Mag's injury. They did not play well down the stretch. I think they lost 6 of 8 at the end of the season there. But I think the committee did Rutgers wrong. I really do. I think Rutgers got totally the shit.
Like a true Big Ten.
No, it's the truth.
Guy.
They won at Purdue. They beat Indiana. I don't know. I don't agree.
My take on all these is, listen, you're all in the bubble for a reason.
Huh?
None of you can complain. None of you can complain.
You know what the sad thing to me though is that Rutgers was not going to be on the bubble, and it was a totally different deal after Mawat Mag.
Right,
even though I thought they played,
which is sad.
But it's selective enforcement in a way. Why is Houston not dinged? If this or UCLA?
Well, because UCLA still almost beat Arizona without Bona and Jalen Clark. They're going to get an Bona back.
Are you sure?
No, I'm not.
Are you sure they're going to get him back? I think this is Arinze Onuaku Part 2.
Ooh.
This is.
Oh, look at you! Look at you!
I was
accusing Mick Cronin of some.
No, it's smart. I would do the same thing. I'm not saying it's bad. He's doing.
Well, he didn't even want to put out the Jalen Clark stuff.
Well, no shit.
So none of them would.
You would say he's day to day, and I thought back to Arinze Onuaku at Syracuse. That's what they did, and we made the mistake. Now I don't know how we wouldn't have. This would have leaked probably because of you or someone. But we would have been like, yeah, Rob's knee is sprained. Day to day. Day to day. That's what they did with Onuaku, and they kept their seed. Well, we dropped to a 4.
They did. So. All right. So what else were the big takeaways? Well, by league, you have the SEC and Big Ten with 8. Big 12 got 7 when at one point everybody was campaigning for, 9.
For all.
Big East gets 5. ACC gets 5. Pac-12 and Mountain West get 4 apiece. WCC and AAC get 2. I love what the committee did with Texas A&M, Rob. I think I'm the only one coming out there and saying, you know what? I'm so happy they dinged them and they gave them a 7 seed. It's the greatest thing ever because to me, my biggest pet peeve is it's bullshit. And Buzz Williams, you got it last year. Like last year, you didn't get in because of your bullshit non-conference schedule, and you do it again. Now, luckily, you ran through the SEC. I give you credit, okay? They deserve to get in. But I'm so glad they didn't take care of them with a 5 seed or something like that because their non-conference schedule was garbage. It was dog shit.
Wow. Tell me how you really feel.
Well, no, they'll play somebody.
A&M will be tested because I thought Jalen Pickett looked a little tired today and all weekend.
It's a lot of booty ball to play. It's a lot of booty ball.
True. He backs you down. But they do have Seth Lundy played great this weekend. He's a good player. They've got shooting. That'll be a fun game. I really think I'm doing that game. I'm looking forward to that. I am intrigued. Indiana Kent State because of the way Kent State defends, who they've played. 2-point loss to Charleston, 5-point loss to Houston, 7-point loss to Gonzaga. Like they have gone toe to toe. Now they've lost. You can make the argument they've lost every one of those teams, but
they were right there.
But in the game, and they're all road games.
This isn't a road game, Rob. Well, I know it actually will be a road game, right?
Where is that? That's being played where?
That game is in Albany. Albany. So they'll travel. Listen, Indiana fans will travel. It'll be a pro Indiana.
But you know how these are, and Indiana will have a great crowd. But if they can get a lead, that building will turn on Indiana. And I'm not. I just think
Slenderoff is a New Yorker, by the way. He might have some family there.
Well, how big's his family?
He might bring 50 people.
Be packing the stadium.
He might have a lot of brothers and sisters.
Maybe. All right. What other game really intrigues you?
All right. So I got a few. The best one. So I'm torn. I can go anywhere I want. That's the bonus of being me, Rob, that I can pick.
Yeah, and you've been just chilling, not doing shit, so you were able to actually prepare.
So I was thinking of going to Disney and just go.
You could have. Watch it at the Wide World of Sports Resort. You could have done that.
Go ahead. But I heard Splash Mountain shut down, so I may not go.
It's being rehabbed.
But I was actually choosing between Disney. As you know, I haven't felt very well over the last couple of weeks. So I'm supposed to fly home tomorrow and then fly to Orlando on Tuesday.
Yeah, you were as disheveled as I've ever seen you 2 days ago.
Shit.
You owe my girlfriend, you owe Logan an apology.
I didn't even
You
recognize
didn't even know she was. You
I don't
saw
think I
her
knew
in
who you
November.
were.
I know, I could tell.
Listen, it was a bad day, okay? My phone had shut down completely on probably the biggest day of the year for firings, okay? So I had to literally break news.
Oh, no, I can't break this news.
Coaches are texting me and they're going to pick up the phone. And I'm like, no, I don't have a phone that works. I felt like garbage. I've been up since 4:30 in the morning. And then there was another issue back at the home front that I've told you, but I'm not going to tell everybody else what happened with my wife. So
I feel like that makes it's not bad. It's not a bad thing. I mean,
but
you're making it. I'm thinking much worse when you say that than what it actually was.
No, she just got hacked, basically.
Yes, that's not that bad. So I mean, it stinks that it happened, but
yeah, it just sucks. It sucks. So it was a rough day overall. You caught me at the tail end, and yes, I looked like shit. So
did you like when I was heckling you? I was heckling you from the front row, though.
You were, and you know what? Somebody came up to me after. A writer came up to me after, and he goes, "Hey, do people normally heckle you like that?" I said that was humble, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't know." He had no idea. I thought it was just a random fan heckling me.
I was credentialed. He didn't see my credential there?
Did not see your credential.
Credentialed media member here?
No,
damn.
Did not see it. What is HelloFresh? With HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. Make mealtime easy with delicious recipes made with fresh, wholesome ingredients delivered to your door. No lines, no hassle, just great tasting meals you can whip up and enjoy in the comfort of your home. With the cost of groceries going up and up, now is the perfect time to get started with HelloFresh. HelloFresh is cheaper than grocery shopping, 25% less expensive than takeout. They have 40 weekly recipes to choose from for all meal occasions, lifestyles, and preferences. Take your pick from meals like soy glazed salmon with rice or mushroom and chive risotto. I've used it, and honestly, it's the best thing for me because obviously, especially I'm so busy dealing with NCAA tournament now, coaching moves, everything. I don't have time. So this honestly is the greatest thing ever because it is just so easy and time efficient. Go to HelloFresh.com/60Field68 and use code 60Field68 for 60% off plus free shipping. Again, that's HelloFresh.com/60Field68 and use the code 60Field68 for 60% off plus free shipping. All right, let's get to, so first, our favorite first-round matchups. Like the ones we want to see, the ones we're dying to see. Arkansas, Illinois is probably #1. And you got it. It's an Illinois team that God knows what they're going to do. We have no idea.
They might shoot 55 threes just honestly, to cap the year off.
It's amazing. Like, I think Brad Underwood is so intrigued to see because he's had Kofi. He's so intrigued to see, like, okay, maybe we'll be really good in the tournament. Now, I have no idea, but like, I rolled the dice. And let's see. Well, you get Eric Musselman.
At this point, though, Jeff, you are who you are. And that doesn't mean they can't win these games because I have thought they've played really well, but they have 12 losses on the year for a reason.
Right.
They get swept by Penn State for a reason, but at the same time, they beat Texas and they beat UCLA. That's pretty wild.
That was a long time ago.
And that's the thing. Those wins were in November and December. And since I think they have one quad one win. Yeah, and I'm trying to think who that is.
They've been average and they've been so inconsistent. And Arkansas has been a little bit inconsistent too since Nick Smith came back. But I give the Razorbacks the edge here. I give them the edge. I trust them more. The other one that I love, and this is where I'm torn where to go. So I could drive to Albany Friday instead of going to Orlando Tuesday night or Wednesday. Albany's 3 hours away, and I could see the Danny Hurley, Rick Pitino matchup between UConn and Iona.
That is
I'm
good.
telling you, that might be the best storyline of the first weekend of the NCAA tournament. Rick Pitino, and is this it for him at Iona? Does he go to St. John's? Here's what I've been told on that first, before we get to the game, is he'll likely end up at St. John's, okay? But a lot of people close to him are saying, don't do it. Don't go to St. John's. It's not a good job. They don't have a lot.
There's some real limitations there.
Yes.
Some real limitations.
So I think St. John's is going to have to kiss his ass and make him feel like they really, really want him to get Rick Pitino there. I think if they kind of drag their feet and say, well, we're going to meet with you and a couple other candidates, Rick's going to say, you know what? Thanks. I'm staying at Iona. And he'll still get another. Listen, he'll get a good one next year. You know, it might be Jim Larinaga retiring at Miami next year.
Yeah, and then he's in South Florida where he wants to be.
Right. So he'll get one. But this matchup, how scared do you think right now Danny Hurley is? How nervous do you think he is?
You make it sound like he's a little kid hiding under the covers.
I think he might be.
He's not.
I think right now I could do a Dan Hurley impression.
Isn't UConn playing pretty well right now?
They're playing very well.
Yeah, so he's not hiding shit. I can't believe you'd say that about him. He's never going to come on the show anymore. You're saying he's acting scared?
I think he is.
No, he's not. All right, I'm going to go with the team that has the nation's longest active win streak at 17.
Who's that?
Oral Roberts and Duke in the 5-12.
I think Duke's going to kill him. I think Duke's going to blow him out.
Really? I mean, I know Duke's playing really well, but I just am so intrigued by Oral Roberts' offense. They shoot it well. They've got a dynamic guard in A. Smith, Vanover.
They've got a 7'4" guy, but Duke's got 2 7-footers.
No. But you act like Connor Vanover's been doing work by playing with his back to the basket. Isn't he a pick and pop guy?
Yeah, but he's got to protect the rim too. And it's
agreed. I think that with Oral Roberts' offense, that intrigues me with that game.
I don't think. To me, I love the one I really love is Miami Drake. Because Drake, remember, they were in the tournament a couple of years ago. The core of their team is back, and they added Tucker DeVries, who's awesome. Coach's son, 6'7", skilled. You look tired over there. Look at you yawning. Tough day.
I work.
Tough day.
You don't work. Jesus.
And Miami, I think both those teams have a chance to advance. And Miami, we know they got Wong, they got Nigel Pack, Jordan Miller, North Chad Omier's banged up a little bit. I think that's going to be a great first round game. What do you make of the Indiana Kent State matchup?
I mean, with the way Kent State guards, I think that Indiana's a team that I think game planning for them. You just sell out on Trace Jackson Davis and dare other guys to beat you. And I think that's what you will see Kent State do. And that'll be interesting. I'm also looking forward to the Kentucky Providence game.
Yeah.
I think Kentucky Providence has some real juice. Ed Cooley, hot name right now, along with Micah Shrewsbury.
Yep.
Seen a lot of tweets about those two guys.
Yeah.
Do you think that is Shrewsbury? I heard a lot of Notre Dame, but then it's been a lot of Georgetown lately, but I've heard about Ed Cooley as well.
Georgetown can do this more than Notre Dame.
Notre Dame can't.
They're not going to. It's not that
but if they want to get a good coach like an Ed Cooley or a Micah Shrewsbury, I would think the way to pry him from Penn State or keep him from Georgetown would say, all right, we are going to commit to basketball, not the same as football because they're never going to do that, but in a way that is comparable to what our ACC opponents are doing.
How do
you get a good coach if you don't do that?
I'd rather live in Georgetown in D.C. than I would in South Bend. Now, Mike is a Midwest guy. I get it.
He's from Indiana. So.
I know. I think Georgetown, the ceiling, I still feel like is higher.
They have not been good in 10 years.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
But you think that they can bring it back?
Well, just because you hired a shitty coach doesn't I hate people that say that. They haven't been good. Well, maybe it's because the coach wasn't good.
And they just had such catastrophic losses in the NCAA tournament under John Thompson III.
But they did go to Final Four under him. They did.
That's true.
A long time ago.
What year was that? That was 03?
08, 07, 08?
Did they make it?
6? It was a long time ago. It's a long time ago. Might have been later than that. It might have been 8, 9 or something like that. But here's the thing. The only downside with Georgetown is that the arena isn't on campus. That's pretty much it. You can get kids into school. You have so many players in the area, so many, and you can move up quickly in the Big East route.
Yeah. Yeah, Georgetown played in the Final Four in 2007, and they lost to Ohio State. That's a loaded Final Four. Florida, Ohio State, unbelievable teams. All right, yeah.
I think, again, you put too much, like people are like, well, it's not – Providence is a better program than Georgetown. No, it's not. Georgetown's a better program.
But doesn't Ed Cooley have some real connections to the city?
Oh, to Providence or to Georgetown?
Yes, Providence.
Yeah, he grew up in Providence.
I know, but I'm saying he's very ingrained, even like business-wise there, I'd heard.
Oh, shit, yeah. No, he's the king there. He's not leaving. At the end of the day, he's making $3.7 a year at Providence. Let's say Georgetown can offer him $5 million. Providence will go up to $4 or $5 million. He is not going to leave for $500,000 a year to go to Georgetown, which is a rebuild, and leave the place he grew up, the place he is king. He is going to ultimately, in my opinion, he's going to go to the altar, maybe not even go that far. He's going to talk to him. He's going to turn it into a new 8-year deal worth 8 years at 4.5 is what? 32, I don't know, 35 million, something like that.
Good math.
I don't know if that's right, but it sounds good, right? Yeah. 8 years, 35 million.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
All right, Kentucky. Can Providence beat him, Rob? I mean, Bryce Hopkins never played at Kentucky. Now he's a dude at Providence. The only thing I worry about is Providence's point guard play.
Yeah.
Jared Bynum's just been okay. And to me, Cason Wallace is a stud when he's healthy, and now he's had time, a little bit more time to get healthy. I think Kentucky wins this.
Yeah, I just think that the pressure on Cal to win this game is going to be insane. He loses another first-round game. Oh my God, they will lose their minds in Lexington. Boy, do you have confidence though? They lost to Vanderbilt in their quarterfinal game in the SEC tournament.
How can you have confidence in him? You don't have confidence in him, but all I'll say is, like, Providence hasn't played well either down the stretch. There's a reason they're an 11 seed. At one point, this was a locked tournament team, and then they barely backed their way in.
How surprising has it been to you that Sheboy goes from National Player of the Year to, people claiming they can't play him
defensively? Well, that's the thing against Providence. They've got these bigs. Croswell's more of a junkyard dog big.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, I think that matchup won't be awful for Sheboy in a way. He's a little undersized.
Yeah.
But Providence plays tough. That's what they're kind of known for is obviously they're
Croswell's 6'8", 240. Like he's a big body, but not a.
I mean, he'll bang with Oscar. He'll bang.
Yeah, right.
So I just think the point guard play, to me, I love Cason Wallace. I think he's going to shine in the NCAA tournament, and I think the key is going to be DeReeves and Frederick. I don't even know if he's going to play, but Antonio Reeves to me is the key to them. Because if he can go for 20 and make threes and space the court, they're in good shape. If he can't, all you do is sag back on them. And honestly, Providence probably play some zone and dare everybody not named Reeves to make a shot.
Yeah, I agree. I am intrigued by Furman and Virginia just because of Furman's story. They were knocking on the door last year at the NCAA tournament. David Jean-Baptiste, it's a half-court shot, sent Chattanooga to the NCAA tournament. Chattanooga almost beat Illinois. But yeah, they have a good offense. I saw them again down at the SoCon. Yeah. I think Furman is a team that they've got experience. They've got Mike Bothwell's a really good guard. Offensively, Jalen Slauson's player of the year. They have good players. They can shoot the three. That'll be interesting.
All right, so here's the thing. You look at we finally have the brackets now. Okay, so you can kind of, now's the time when you can really look at like how it sets up and everything like that. And prior to this, I said I'm going to put Houston to the win it all no matter what. And now with Sasser banged up, I don't feel as good about it. I don't feel as good. And now I watch Alabama tear through the SEC tournament, and I feel a lot better about the Crimson Tide. I'm worried about Kansas and their bracket now. I am. I'm worried. I mean, how can you not?
You are such a front runner. You've been beating the chest for all these teams all year.
But now you see it. You see it. And all right, so let's run through now our Final Four, if we can. And it's an early, quick look Final Four. We reserved the right to change our opinion after sleeping on this thing, because this is like, we really haven't looked at it closely at all.
No, I've not.
Let's go region by region. Let's go region by region. Let's start with the South. I have Alabama and Creighton in the Elite Eight, which is, it's not chalky, but Creighton's a 6th seed. I have them beating Baylor. I think Missouri beats Arizona. I think it's going to be a brutal matchup for Arizona. The small ball of Mizzou. I do. I think Missouri gets to the Sweet 16. Creighton wins. Alabama, Creighton, and I'm gonna ride Alabama. I think, you know what? They've answered every damn question this year. Yeah. Every question.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Bama too. I think they're just playing too well.
Yep.
I'll go Alabama.
All right. In the East, you got your Purdue Boilermakers. By the way, they get the winner of Memphis, Florida Atlantic. We cannot get off this podcast without finding out your fear meter, 1 to 10, if they have to play Memphis and the 30-year-old DeAndre Williams and Kendrick Davis has got to be 23 or 24, and they come after you. And
yeah, that's the
not
thing.
What you want if you're
the way they can turn you over, right? That is concerning. I feel like when I've seen them, they don't necessarily full court press a ton.
No, but
and that's where, but that doesn't mean they can't. You know, we saw Penn State today, full court, and Penn State turns you over the least of anybody in the Big Ten, and almost the least nationally of anyone. So that does concern me. I think Purdue needs to figure out the press break, and we talked to Matt Painter. It was me, Bruce Weber.
How did that go?
On the set, it was fun. It was really fun.
Payne was laughing post game about it a little bit.
He was. I mean, he was like, "Look, we gotta have some guys that will turn and face and break the press." And you can complain about the coaching, but the players have to break it, right? Like you're going to be put in spots. Some things they've done. I watched the Rutgers too.
Do you think it's mental too now?
Yeah, I do. I think it's one of those things that. You can it's like an avalanche. You can see it coming, and it just, once it starts, it's hard to stop. I thought against Rutgers, and Rutgers is a team that, like Memphis, is equipped to, if they're behind, they can, with their physicality and pressure, they can heat you up. It looked like Rutgers was pressing Purdue with 8 guys, like what we used to do in high school when the JV would press us with 8 players. There's nowhere to throw the ball, right? but Purdue today did a really poor job of catching, turning, and facing their own basket. Look up the floor, break the press. That's so I am concerned with Memphis because of their ability to do that. That concerns me. Yes.
Hey guys, just a reminder, our sponsor for today's episode is Run Your Pool. They are hosting the Field of 68 Bracket Challenge. This year, they are giving away $1,500 in free prizes. It's all an incentive for you to get on there and find out just how good their platform is. I've been using them for my bracket pools for years. I've used them for Super Bowl squares. I use them for everything that I need to use them for. The biggest survivor pool that I'm in for both NFL and NCAA tournament is by Run Your Pool. So go check them out. The link's below. Tap in. Do you guys ever get tired of trying to prove that you won an argument, that your takes weren't hot, they were right? Well, I have an answer to all of your problems. Vaulted is a new sports prediction app that turns your opinions into facts. You can store all of your predictions and hot takes in your own vault now and forever. Challenge your friends, keep track of the results, and prove that you are, in fact, the smartest one in the room and the smartest one in your friend group. We all know how much that matters. You can always win the bar argument with the Vaulted app. They're also going to be releasing more than 50 pools over the course of the next 3 months, from the NCAA tournament to the NBA playoffs on into baseball season. So download the app at the link below, sign up for your 3-month trial, and store your predictions now and forever.
Final Four wise, screw it. They've swept the Big Ten. I'm on the Purdue train. We're going to figure it out. You got the National Player of the Year. I'm going Purdue.
All right. I'm going with a different Big Ten team. I'm going Michigan State coming out of there.
They were so impressive in the Big Ten. I picked them to win the Big Ten tournament, and they did not win.
They sold me with their performance.
With their loss. With their loss that was just abysmal to Ohio State.
We hardly knew you. Man. I think it gave him some rest. It gave him some rest. It gave him some practice time under Izzo.
Yeah, there you go. Get those reps up.
All I'll say is you got Tom Izzo. You've got guys who can make shots. Tom Izzo has taken less talented teams to the Final Four, Rob.
Yep.
He has. I don't know. I mean, I feel like everybody's going to pick Purdue, Duke. And then on the other side, you got like Kentucky, Kansas State. Do you really trust those guys? No. So, like, I think
Marquette is interesting in the bottom of that bracket, though.
They are.
They've had a really good year.
No question. No question. I don't. There's something about Michigan State, this year's team. If they play Hauser at the 5 with those guards,
Dude, you are hilarious, dude. How many games did they lose?
A lot of games.
They've had some moments for sure.
Yeah.
But they are 19-12. I could be eating crow because Tom Izzo is the king of March.
Yep.
So
what have I told you? Guards and coaches.
I don't know what you've told me.
Guards and coaches and guards. I'm going to start with coaches. And to me, again, as good as Shire's been, he's still a rookie head coach this year with a bunch of young dudes. I like them. They're playing great basketball, but I worry about them in March. The moment being a little bit too big. I love Shire, though, what he's done and his even keel mentality. I think it's been
He
great.
is. He totally is.
He's been
But he was
great
like that as a player, though.
Yes.
He never got sped up. He never got rattled.
Yep. All right, let's move over to the Midwest. And I'm going to take Houston, but I don't love it. And I don't love the fact that they're going to play Auburn in Tuscaloosa and in Birmingham in the second round, potentially. Although I don't think Auburn's going to get there. I think Iowa's.
I think that's going to be hilarious with Bruce Pearl's ties to Iowa.
I know.
They could. I mean, Auburn better make that a grinder. They better really make that a grinder there.
Yep. And again, if Wendell Green has a good game, they can win that game. But I like Houston. I think Sasser, from what I'm told, is expected to play unless there's going to be a setback. He will play in the first round game, even though it's a Thursday game. We'll see. But right now, the plan is for him to play. And then, so who do you got in the Midwest?
I'm going to go. If Sasser was healthy, I would say Houston for sure.
Who else you picking, though?
And Texas just rolled through the Big 12 tournament, but the last time they did that, they got Shaka Smart fired by losing.
Play Texas A&M. I didn't even realize that in the second round.
Do you think that they're just going to roll Penn State?
Wow.
Please.
I don't know. That's a toss.
This is the hardest shit ever.
It's really hard.
I'll go Houston if Sasser's healthy.
All right. And
I have 3 1 seeds right now. I can't do that.
That's awesome.
I can't have 3 1 seeds.
Chalk. You are so soft.
No, I'm not going chalk with Kansas.
Well, honestly, I don't know who to take out of there, but I feel like there's
I'm going UConn in the West.
UConn
in the West. And in the Midwest, I'm going to go. No, I can't pick all the 1 seeds. I've got a 4 and 2 1s.
I feel like I want to go Arkansas. Is that insane?
Yes.
It kind of is, isn't it? I mean, that would mean they'd have to be Kansas and UConn.
Yeah. All right. I'm chalk. I'm Houston, UConn, Purdue, and Bama.
I'm going Kansas anyway. I'm going Kansas. Screw it. I am. I
really hate making these picks. I really do.
I got 3 number 1s too. I got Alabama, Houston, Kansas, and Michigan State.
Sorry. It just is.
But
with the way they lost to Ohio State. Although Ohio State, if you look at it from the last 3 weeks, has played like a top 15 team.
They've been pretty good. They look like the early season Ohio State.
Roddy Gale was killing Purdue. Now they ran out of gas, but he was
so good. He was. All right. So Alabama, you got Purdue. I got Michigan State. We both got Houston. And you have UConn. I have Kansas.
Yeah.
Who are you picking to win the whole thing?
Fuck it, Purdue.
You can't pick Purdue.
I'm tired.
Are you really picking Purdue?
No.
What time are you going to go to bed tonight?
Like literally after this podcast. What time is it right now? 7:30, 7:38.
When do you leave? Wednesday?
Tuesday. You got to do the interviews the day before.
You have a
3 game.
You have Thursday, Saturday games?
Yeah.
All right. Who's your national title champ?
All right. I'll go. I don't know. Can Bama win with all the shit that's swirling around them?
And they can.
Yeah.
Pretty talented.
They are.
They've overcome a lot of adversity.
That's true. So you're saying they're battle tested, huh?
I just want you to pick him because I'm not picking him.
You're going to go Houston. You've been calling them all year.
Yep, I am.
All right. I'm going Purdue. Purdue's winning
Oh,
all.
Jesus Christ. Unbelievable.
No one knows this shit.
So you just go fall back on Purdue. so nobody yells at me.
I'm tired, honestly. I am tired from the last 2 weeks and today. So I am going to pick them.
22 days, Rob. You'll be home and maybe even less.
My training for
Are you doing
golf season starts. No, I'm going to help coach, though. I'm going to help with USA basketball.
Oh, those poor kids.
They're adults, idiot.
Poor guys.
What kids are playing on the senior national team?
Well, I don't. Yeah, Canyon Barry's like 38, isn't he?
He's not that old. He's in his late 20s. Jimmer Fredette's going to play.
No, seriously?
Yeah.
Can you get Jimmer to guard? Is there any defense played in 3-on-3?
I mean, people just foul the shit out of each other. So
really, it's perfect for Jimmer, is what you're saying.
Well, I wouldn't say Jimmer's the most physical guy, but his skill set is very unique in the sense that he's a pro. There's a lot of guys that are on the 3-on-3 circuit who I think are bad players, but the rules allow them to foul the hell out of everybody, so they become good at the sport.
Can I tell you, in all my years of covering college basketball, I'm not sure I've seen anybody take less interest in defense than Jimmer.
That wasn't his role on that team.
Oh, I got you. I understand what his role was.
His role was to ball.
Yes.
Also, he might have one of the best Sports Illustrated covers ever. The picture of him, it's one of those elevated floors at a football stadium, and he's coming off a screen, and it's shooting up at him, and he looks like he's like 7 feet off the ground on his jumper. It's sick.
He was probably about 12 inches.
No, he was a guy that really elevated on his jumper.
He did. No, listen.
He really got.
I still say those games. I went to both of them. Jimmer against Kawhi at BYU and San Diego State that year. Oh my God. Those were two of the best 10 games I've ever covered. The environments, they were unbelievable in terms of, just atmospheres and those two going at it. And that was fun. Anything else on the bracket that you want to tell America?
No.
Nothing?
This is the hardest show of the year for me because I have not watched any other conference tournaments in the Big Ten.
Right.
And I did not get to watch any of the selection show. So
is there another team in the Big Ten that now, looking at it, you think has a shot? Like I took Michigan State to go to the Final Four. You took Purdue. Is there another team that could be a dark horse out of the Big Ten that you think has a chance to go to the Final Four if things break right?
Well, I mean, Northwestern really guards, but offensively, they would need their guards to just hoop.
Yep.
Chase Audige has got to get out of his little rut. I mean, Illinois, talent-wise.
But that road. I mean, I guess.
But the road is brutal.
Iowa.
Indiana, no. I worry about Indiana. Some of the other guys, they looked so bad against Penn State the other day.
And they got to get past Houston, probably. That's going to be, that'd be a tough go.
If Houston's healthy, yeah. No, I don't feel great. They're all in positions where they're going to have to pull a major upset. They're going to have to get out of the 8-9 spot.
They have these low
or the 7-10. They're in that 7-10, 8-9 range.
Right. I mean, you look at the seeds they have, and again, Purdue 1, Indiana 4, Northwestern 7, Michigan State 7, Iowa 8, Maryland 8, Illinois 9, Penn State 10. So you're going to have to, in the second round, all these teams are going to have to, right, like you said, other than Purdue and Indiana, they're all going to be playing a higher seeded team.
Yeah. No, that's why it's hard to feel super confident. But there's upsets in this tournament all the time.
Yeah.
Listen,
I love. I mean, again.
But if you're looking at the percentages, Jeff, you are not putting yourself in a position to be statistically successful if you are a 7 or 10 seed, or if you're not. They don't happen, but that's just the numbers, right?
What's your, before we let you go? What is your favorite memory? And just tell people what it's like. How many tournaments did you play in?
4. No. I mean, our team played in all 5 years I was at Purdue. We played in 5 tournaments. I played in 3 of them.
Right. You missed the one.
I missed the one my junior year, and I sat out my entire senior year. So
right. And the one your junior year was the one that you really
we would have been a
one.
We would have been a 1 seed. Yeah.
Right. That was what was that like? I guess go back to that. What you remember of again not being able to play in that tournament.
Yeah, I mean it sucked. I had surgery on my 21st birthday. We won the Big Ten, and everyone was so happy, but we were also not. Kind of like Villanova last year going to the Final Four. Like you're like, this is great, but it's not because this guy just blew his Achilles and I blew my knee out. And not that we didn't celebrate it, but it did put a damper on what would have been an unbelievable accomplishment, I feel like, for our team. I watched the first and second rounds from my parents' house. I couldn't travel yet. So that was weird. Watching on TV with my mom and dad, my grandparents. My little brother. So
it was TV?
It was really stressful to not be there. And then we lost to Duke. I was there, but yeah, it just sucked. And then the NCAA tournament's awesome.
Then everybody left from your team. You came back for your final year.
Well, after that year, everyone came back. Each one and Joanna came back to school. I blew my knee out the first day of practice. Yeah. And then we lost at the United Center actually to VCU. And Shaka Smart, they blew us out.
That was what round?
Second round. It was an ass beating.
Right.
I remember watching them warm up. It's like Bradford Burgess and all those guys. They were making all these shots. I was like, they won't make these in the game.
They did.
They made everything.
Really?
They kicked our ass so bad. They really did.
All right. Well, listen, we'll try to find a way this week. At some point, we'll do another pod. I don't know when it'll be. It might have to be next Sunday night.
Where are you going?
I don't know yet. Either Albany or Orlando. Where would you go if you had the choice?
What are the games in Orlando?
So here are the games. Orlando are Duke, Oral Roberts, and Tennessee, Louisiana, and then the other ones are San Diego State, Charleston, our city, my city, and Virginia.
You're wearing a Charleston shirt on press row.
I know. And Virginia Furman. So like second round
those are some fun 4-13 matchups too.
5-12, 4-13, 4-13, 5-12. So you're getting like really 4 good games. Or I go to Albany and I get Miami Drake, great game. Indiana Kent State could be a very good game.
Yep.
And then I get the UConn Iona and a St. Mary's VCU. They're all good. I mean, honestly. I don't know. What would you do? The story is Pitino.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for warm weather, so I'd probably go to Orlando. But yeah, Albany will be good. They both will be good. I mean,
I think either way. I think again, we gotta. If you stay away from the 1/16s, you're gonna get good games.
Which unfortunately I have.
I know. Well, but you got a great.
Unless you're on the Kevin Kugler train where he got the Virginia UMBC game. Yeah, he did that one.
Exactly. You never know.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. We'll see you next week. Goodman and Hummel. And thanks for listening, watching, as always.